The Model Shop live scale modeling show is brought to you by Tenant Controls, makers of lighting kits, soundboards, and more. Tenant Controls brings your models to life. And by HDA ModelWorks, suppliers of scale model lighting products, detail parts, and complete model kits. Visit HDAModelWorks.com today. Well, hello there, everybody, and welcome to episode 108 of the Model Shop. I'm your host, Boyd Crompton. We're glad to be coming to you guys live from our shop here in San Antonio, Texas tonight. Had a little drop-in the chat session there. Looks like we got a nice crowd on hand tonight. Guys, enjoy the chat while we're doing the show here. We got a nice little show for you in store tonight. We're going to be doing a little bit of on-the-bench work here. I got several requests this last couple of weeks about showing some weathering techniques using this artist chalk and some of this rust oxide powder that I use. So we're going to be working on a little bit of that here on the bench. I'm building a new kit. You can see behind me the 350 scale HMS hood to go along with my Bismarck that I finished a little while ago. And so we're going to do a little bit of weathering on the hull using those mediums and show you guys how we do that. We also got a nice out-of-the-box kit review for you guys tonight. This is the brand new 1/16 scale 1982 Pontiac Firebird from MPC. Now this is a brand new kit. They've never released this kit before. This is one of the nicer Pontiac Firebird body styles that they came up with over the years. It's a beautiful car, and it's a really detailed kit. It's got opening doors, detailed engine, full interior, all that, and we'll take a look at that. Tonight we're going to talk a little bit about, we kicked off our Model Shop community group build, and we over at our Google community page, there's a bunch of people over there posting all their kits that they're going to be doing. So we're going to hop by there before we kick things off tonight and take a look and talk about what everybody's working on. So let me see if I can get over to the page here, and it's going to change screens here for just a second, folks, and then I'll get this thing going. Hopefully I don't mess this up. There we go. And hopefully you guys are seeing the screen here. At the very top here, we've got Tagamo Model Works, who's going to be working on the brand new Mobius Batgirl kit. That's a really nice kit. It's a 1/5 scale resin kit that they came out with. It's a beautiful likeness of Batgirl the way she appeared in the original 1966 Batman. And I'm looking forward to watching Tag build that one up. Scrolling on down here a little further, we've got Mark Shue, who's going to be doing the Grandpa Munster kit. I think that one's also from Mobius, so that's really cool. And we've got Chuck Brooks doing the Terminator Judgment Day uh, uh, endoskeleton, so that's going to be really cool. Chuck, can't wait to see that. And then we've got John Hunt here doing the Monkey Mobile. That's a classic kit that's been around for years, and it always builds out really nice, so that'll be cool to see that one, John. We've got Alan Blind doing the Starsky and Hutch Ford Torino. That's going to be cool. Let's take a look at the picture of the box art here if we can see it. Oh, it's kind of chopped off there. Maybe we can get a better picture of it here. There you go. And you can see he's gotten the kit out of the box, and he's already getting to work on that. So that's awesome. And let's see. Yeah, he's got some work going on the grill here. We've got another, looks like Terminator is going to be a popular subject here. We've got another one from Lee Chambers. This is the Halcyon kit. I think this is it might be a vinyl kit. It looks like the old classic kit that they put out quite a few years ago in 1/9 scale. The T800 Terminator. And let's see if we've got somebody else here. We got Todd Millette doing the Back to the Future DeLorean. There's a picture of the box art there. Looks like that's the one from the, I think it was the third movie that they used that one in. And DeWitt Shainline's going to be building the T2 Aerial Hunter Killer, which that's a really nice kit from Pegasus Hobbies. So lots of people jumping in. Going from that to a little bit of modeling news here, and just giving you guys some updates. We've got John Hunt here, who's doing a really awesome build of the Klingon Katinga. You can see he's doing some putty work on this. He's been lighting it, getting it looking real nice. Just some of the stuff that's going on around the community here. Got Lee Chambers that just finished up this beautiful Yamaha motorcycle. Take a look at that. Awesome job on the driver here. He's just kind of doing a work in progress, getting them all detailed out. Lee always does some fantastic motorcycle builds. Armando Della Cabada posted this. He got a nice little hookup from our good friend on the page here, Omar. Omar did a nice casting in clear resin so that he can light up this ring that we see on this Vulcan ship. So that's going to be cool to follow along and see how that all turns out. It's always about community members helping each other out here. That's really nice to see. Another shot of the Katinga from John Hunt. Let's take a look at this front view. Really looks great. It's got some nice detail going on there. And we've got a Viper build. Here's another shot of Lee's Yamaha motorcycle. Another shot of the Katinga. And we've got Scott Hatchert, Aussie Trekkie, who's building up this beautiful battleship Missouri. He's actually doing a conversion from the Tamiya kit, which is actually the New Jersey. And you can see up in this area here, he's having to scratch build a completely different superstructure on this to turn it into the Missouri and not have it look like the New Jersey. So a lot of nice work going on there. Scott's been posting regular updates on that over at his YouTube channel, Aussie Trekkie. Nice Mr. Spock there by John Hunt with Zachary Quinto likeness on that. Some Corsairs from Greg Bryan. And we got DeWitt Shainline, who went to the Heritagon. I think that Heritage Con. I think that's up in Canada somewhere. Kind of a little modeling show or something like that. Here we have a nice US Excelsior from John Hunt. John's been a busy builder. Dave Pashtag with his Robin figure from Mobius Models. Somebody visited the Jeff Blizzard visited the Smithsonian, got to see the 11-foot Enterprise. I'm so jealous, Jeff. I have never had a chance to do that yet. I hope to get to do that one day. And then let's see, back up towards the top, we had a little bit of modeling news here. We had a post from, let me see if I can find that real quick, guys. I'm really excited about this kit that's coming out from Mobius Models, if I can find it here again. Here it is. This is the Discovery 1 from the original classic film 2001: A Space Odyssey. This is going to be in 1/144 scale. Should be around as it says on the box art there, over 40 inches long, and it is going to be a styrene plastic kit and not resin. So I don't know about you guys, but I've been waiting for a Discovery model like this, a regular factory produced version in a nice size like this, for a long time. It says this kit's due out in 2018 sometime, so let's hope it doesn't get canceled along the way or something happens and they actually go through with this one, because I'm really excited about it. Looks like it'll be a beautiful kit. Probably going to have some kind of reinforcing rod here in the spine, but hopefully it's being that it's styrene, it'll be hollow and everything, and it'll be a little bit easier to light, to open up these forward sections here where the crew area was, and these little bay doors, open the pod bay doors, Hal. So that'll be really cool to see that come out. So just some little bit of modeling news for you guys, and that's going to be some awesome new kits that we keep seeing coming out. We have a lot of people out there that drop a line on the our page once in a while about model kits and news and stuff like that, so we really appreciate that. And we also have the ongoing group build out there for Chris Cortell, the Classic Plastic 101 group build. I just finished up my build for that, and if you go over to Kenny May's channel, you can see a list of all the people who are participating in that build. There's like 100 people, so I was really glad to see a nice turnout for that. And there's still time to get in on that one, guys. It's ongoing. I think they have it going for almost the entire year. There's really no end date on it, so you have time to get in on that one. But we hope you guys here will join in and take part in our spring build. We started it today, and it runs until June 2nd, so you have 2 full months to work on your kit. That should give you plenty of time. And the themes are anything from movies and television. I've picked out my kit here. I'm going to finally get around to building the little James Bond auto gyro. We talked about building this here on the channel a long time ago, probably almost a year ago now. Just one of those ones that kind of fell by the wayside, but this is a perfect kit for this build. It's from one of the classic James Bond movies, so I'm looking forward to getting started on that one. So we'll have that for you here in a couple weeks. Okay, guys, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back and get right to work on the bench tonight, doing some weathering on the 1/350 scale HMS hood, using some of those artist chalks and that rust compound. And you guys can follow along that asked about that. They said they were going to tune in tonight and see it, so hopefully you'll enjoy that. Right back after the break, everybody. Okay, everybody, well, we're on the bench and we're going to do a little bit of weathering on this 1/350 scale battleship model. This is the HMS Hood that I'm building to go along with the Bismarck that I built a little while ago. Now, I built the Bismarck, as I talked about in that whole video series. I wanted to build that one kind of like, museum fresh or whatever, right out of the shipyard. And on this one, I'm going to go a little bit different. I'm going to weather it a little bit. The Hood was an older ship, and it had been at sea for a long time and had been through many paint jobs and everything, and they hadn't had it in for a little while to do a little painting or anything on it when it went into battle with the Bismarck. So I'm going to show you guys some really quick and easy weathering that you can do on these ship models. We're going to be using this medium here, which is a rust oxide compound. I wish I could tell you guys the brand name on this, but you can look it up online. There's several different companies that make this stuff. They have it in different shades. This is the sort of medium to dark color that they have. I have a couple different ones of these. I have some lighter colors too, but this is the color we're going to use. So what we're going to do is we're just going to go around the hull here a little bit, and we're going to add some just light rust oxidization that's starting to happen on the hull here from being in the salt water. And I'm going to show you what I've got going on here. On this side, I've already started to do some work on that, especially up here towards the bow, where you see normally where the anchor hangs down from a ship, you'll see a little bit of rust, kind of streak that forms underneath of that. And then just a few spots along the hull, working our way towards the back. I didn't want to overdo it. I just put a little bit here and there. Now, to break up the hull a little bit too, I did some streaking here with some dark charcoal over the top of this gray, using this same method that we're going to be talking about here. I've already done the black on the other side and the charcoal, but we're going to be putting the rust on the other side tonight. But it's the same method. I take this little Q-tip here, just some fresh Q-tips, and just dip it in this stuff, and then just lightly start working my way around, going kind of at random, going around this thing and just adding that little detail on there, and it really makes a big difference. And I like this medium because it's really easy to work with. You can do the same effect with some oil type paints, but you got to use the paint, you got to use a brush and everything, and it takes a little longer. And this method here, you just do it dry. You don't have to worry about any mess or any cleaning up any brushes. You just throw away the Q-tip when you're done, and it gives a really realistic looking effect on this. So let's go ahead and get started. We're going to do a little bit of the rust on the other side of the hull here, and then we're going to come back and I'm going to use some regular artist's chalk. We're going to show you how to work with that a little bit, and we're going to go around the red part of the hull here, and we're just going to take some white artist's chalk, and we're going to start rubbing it in around on the hull here a little bit to make the lower part of the anti-fouling color here that they call this look like it's starting to fade, somewhat from being submerged. The only time that they could service this was they would have to bring the ship in and completely, lift it out of the water and put it in dry docks. So that didn't happen very often. So this often started looking pretty ragged over time. Salt water, it doesn't take long before it starts really having an effect on that. So, but anyway, let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to turn it around here. You can see on this side here, I've just done the, some streaks in black around the edges that I kind of, wanted to have highlighted a little bit. So now it's time to add this second layer on here. So I'm going to go ahead and get this stuff ready to go. It's just in this little jar here. You just take the lid off, and it's super, super fine. This stuff is much finer than regular, like artist chalk. It's an oxide, and if you buy one of these, it talks about it a little bit in the pamphlet that comes with it. It's micro fine. And let me tell you, a little bit of this stuff goes a long way. So what I'm doing is I'm just kind of swirling it, this Q-tip in circles in my fingers right now, just kind of getting it embedded into the cotton on the Q-tip, and also getting rid of a little bit of the excess. And we're just going to go ahead and start here towards the front and just work our way back. I'm going to start up here where these anchors are. Now, this ship had a set of 3 anchors on the bow originally, but they removed one of them, so I'm just going to only put a little bit of rust up here on this one that's still going to be remaining. And you can see you just kind of dab it on there, and you just start kind of dragging it down like that, making it a little bit thinner as you get towards the bottom. And that's it, basically, in a nutshell. Now you can take your finger and you can just kind of smudge it on there a little bit and make it, a little bit less defined. And you can see that looks totally realistic. I mean, the rust that, this is almost like real rust. It's really, really nice stuff. Okay, so we're just going to take and continue doing that, just a few spots here and there. I want to make sure I do a little bit here on the leading edges of the bow. They had what they call, chipping that happened from the wave action that, in the North Atlantic where these ships operated, there was a lot of rough sea and everything out there. So here we go. We're just going to keep going on our little streaking effect here. We're going to put some in around these other areas. Again, I don't want to overdo it. Just a few spots here and there kind of at random, kind of like that. And then some up towards the top again here. Working my way back. Just break it up a little bit. And you can see that little bit that I put on that Q-tip is going a long, long ways here. It's going to make it, it's going to be able to, we're going to be able to finish doing the entire side of this thing with this stuff. Maybe put a couple of them, kind of close together, something like that. This thing is so long, I hope I'm staying in the picture here for you guys. Okay, and we're going to get a little bit more back on there. And finish up here at the back. Okay, so everywhere I did that, I'm just going to take my finger and just kind of smudge it in there a little bit. Now when you're all done with this, you'll seal this all up with some, in this case we're going to use a Tester's Dull Coat. That'll keep it from smudging or anything. You really don't have to if you don't want to. If you're not going to be, if you're not going to handle the model very much or anything like that, this stuff will stay on there just fine. Okay, we want to kind of get rid of that around the belt line there. Boot top, I guess they call that on a ship. So there you go. You can see, let's show you the bow first, what a nice little difference that made. Now, it won't be quite as bold once we hit that with our dull coat. It'll kind of tone it down a little bit, and it'll darken it up just a little bit too. But there you go, guys. Real easy rust weathering effects on your ships, or I used a little bit of the same stuff on that Tiger tank that I just finished up. So we're already done, where if you were to use the oils or whatever, it would have taken you longer time to get this all set up and everything. So what we're going to do now is we're going to switch over, and we're going to get some of this artist chalk that we have here. I'll grab some of that. This is made by a company called Generals. You can pick this up at Hobby Lobby. This is what they call the earth tone set, which is a lot of neutral kind of colors. You have black, white, you have these different shades of brown and everything. They're ideal for like military models and stuff like that, where you want to do dust and stuff like that. Or you can do it on cars and vehicles and stuff that you want to make them look like they're weathered a little bit. So it works really good. Now what I use is I just take a piece of 180 grit sandpaper here and lay it down, and we're going to be using white in this case. So I'll just take a little bit of white, and what we're gonna do with this is we're gonna make a little bit of this go a long ways on this. We don't want to get rid of this old Q-tip. Start off with a fresh one here. We don't want to make the the red part on the hull look like it's white. We just want it to look faded in some spots. Now they also get an effect on ships from what they call sea salt. So we're going to do a tiny little bit of that on the upper areas here too. So I'm just going to start off getting a little bit on the Q-tip here, test it out on my hand a little bit, get rid of the excess. I'm going to start off in this area right here so you guys can kind of see. And then after you get it on there, you just kind of really work it in and smudge it in, so it's not looking so bold. we want to kind of stay below this, what they call the boot top here, this this black line here. Mainly talking about below the water line here. And you can see I'm kind of skipping as I go along here. I'm not piling it all on in one place. Just getting it rubbed in. You can see the difference that makes right away. It's starting to make it look, like it's faded. Now you can take and get your finger wet here a little bit and just kind of tone it down. As I said, I don't want it to be super, super strong. I don't want it to, look like it's camouflage or something like that. So let's just kind of continue on here, work our way up to the bow. Got one little streak there that just got kind of too strong. I'm just trying to kind of tone it down a little bit. There we go. That's the nice thing about this stuff is you can really control it. You can get rid of it if you don't want it. If I wanted to right now, if I didn't like what was going on, I could take a little bit of water and put it on a towel and just wipe this off completely and it'd be completely gone. Let's get our way back here towards the propellers. Of course, I'll go over the whole bottom of it too, but just for the sides as purposes for tonight, I wanted to show you guys this so you could see it. Get back in here. Okay. And you just keep working it around until you get it to where the texture where you like it, and you can either bring it up or take it back down. Just another layer if you want to take it back up a little bit more. Now what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do some opposite direction. That'll kind of make it look more like it's been working its way on it over time. So there you go, guys. That's pretty much it. It's just, continue on doing this. Like I said, wherever you want to add it on or take it away, and you can get a really nice, realistic weathering job in a really short amount of time. I'm going to be making little fine adjustments on this and just continue working with it until I get it where I like it. But what I'm going to do here on this side is I'm going to, got a little spot right here that's too strong again. It'll tend to collect on any sharp edges and stuff like that, so you want to kind of pay attention to that. And I'm going to rub it in a little bit here in the front, get it broken up a little bit. Okay, so there you go. Now what we're going to do now is we're going to show you, I've got a little bit of dull coat here. And we're just going to lightly dust over this. Don't get it too close. And you'll see that what it does is it sort of darkens it up a little bit, and it tones it down a little bit as well. Now right now it's shiny, you know, but when it dries it'll be dull, and it'll make it look like it's blended in a lot more. And so there you go. Now what you could do too is you can take and you know, they have all different colors of this available. You can take different colors and you can mix them together. You can do all kinds of really cool stuff to blend everything in. You can see the difference now we have between that side and this side. Now what I'm also planning on doing here, and I'll just show you a little spot while we're at it here. I've got my deck here, and I use this simulated wood from an aftermarket company that goes down on top of this, and I stained it a little bit. So what I'm going to be doing next is, you know, the decks on these ships were teak wood, and teak, it'll, you know, start turning white, or it'll, you know, it'll look kind of faded in some areas. So I'm going to take some of this exact same thing we're doing here with this white, and you can see I'm just going to, in a few spots on my deck, I'm just going to highlight it like that. Just to give the deck a little bit of, you know, differentiation from being one constant color. Get a little bit more here towards the, well, we might as well, it's only going to take a couple seconds, so we might as well show you the whole thing, I guess, here, guys. No big deal. I'm not going crazy. I'm just, you know, just breaking it up just a little bit. Get back here on the after deck. Notice I'm going, you know, parallel with the planking. I don't want to go across it. I want to stay, you know, this way. The hood, in particular, this particular ship, was noted for, they had this, what they call after deck here, and she sat really low in the water. You can see how much, you know, only a small amount of the decking was above the water line here. So in rough seas and everything, she was known for having a really wet after deck. So if you had duty on this back part of the ship, you better be prepared to get wet. So we're going to make this area, you know, in the back here a little bit more pronounced as far as the wear on the teak. Let's come over here to this side. Okay, and again, I don't want to go too far here, guys, so I'm going to stop right there. I'm not sure how well with the glare of the camera that's going to show up for you, but it looks really good. And of course, it'll tone down just a little bit when we hit it with our dull coat again. As we'll do that on the top here. I'll wait until I get all my superstructure and everything put on here, and then, you know, dull coat that all at once when we get it done. But I'll continue that thing on this side here and get it all tidied up, and we'll have our weathering done on the lower half anyway. Not a lot of weathering up on the superstructure, you know, that's up way high above the water line, so we don't have to worry about that too much. But there you go, guys, a little bit of weathering that you can do real quick and easy, and it gives a really realistic look. And you guys will be able to see this a little bit better, a little clearer. Eventually I'll post some pictures of this once I get a little bit further along on it and stuff. So hope you enjoyed that. And again, you can pick this stuff up at your local hobby store. I don't think they carry it at Hobby Lobby, but I know Hobby Town does carry it. That's where I bought this at. And you can also buy it online. Just look up rust weathering oxide compound and you'll find this stuff. Like I said, they have it in different colors and everything. And of course, you can buy the artist's chalk just about anywhere. And I kind of use it a lot. I started off using oils and everything, and oils still have their place for a lot of things, but I kind of prefer this stuff now because it's easier to use, and I can clean it up really easy once I'm done, and if I use too much I can go back and clean it up really easily too. So there you go, guys. Okay, back to our next segment. We'll take a quick break and come back. I think we're going to do the out-of-the-box kit review of the 1/16 scale MPC 1982 Pontiac Firebird next. Be right back, everybody. All right, well, here we are with another out-of-the-box kit review for tonight. This is the brand new MPC 1/16 scale 1982 Pontiac Firebird kit. This isn't a repop. This is a brand new kit that MPC has released. MPC is being operated now by round 2 models. Round 2 models bought out AMT and MPC, so this is actually a round 2 model kit. But it's a really nice kit. I got this as a raffle prize at the model show a couple of weeks ago, and just had a quick look at the parts here yesterday, and this is a really awesome kit. I'm really looking forward to building this one. It's a really detailed kit. It's got opening doors, hood, all that stuff, really detailed engine. And this was one of the first year that the went to the sort of third generation all new body style for the Firebird and Camaro, and it's a really beautiful body style. So we're going to paint this up and do this car up just like you see it on the cover here. This kind of looks like the version that they did a little bit later called the Firebird GTA, which is a little bit more performance than this one. It had a little bit larger engine. It had the 5.7 liter, but this has the 5 liter V8, and it's a really sweet little kit. So let's go ahead and take a look at this. The kit comes molded in white, and you do have some options here. Looking at some of these parts, we'll first pull out this little sprue right here and show you the chrome parts, so you can see that we got some options here as far as the wheels go. We have either the GTA type wire wheel, kind of simulated wire wheels that we're going to use, or the more familiar, Pontiac Firebird type wheels with the black centers and the little Pontiac logo in the center of those. But you get some side pipes here, which we definitely won't be using those, but we get a turbocharger here, some other stuff, cool air box, the fans done in chrome, and the valve covers and all that. We're probably going to de-chrome some of this stuff because we're going to build this sort of a factory production stock car, and that all that stuff wasn't chrome on this car from the factory. So we'll figure all that out as we go along. Let's pop the body out of the bag here. It's a nice large body, like I said, 1/16 scale, so it's pretty close to a foot long. And we have the interior tub kind of tucked into the body there. Let's see if we can squeeze that out of there first. Yeah, the chassis. So we have here some things to remove. We've got to remove this little support here and this one here, and also on the top, so we can do our T-tops. But as we said, we have the opening doors here. The body looks to be really good. It doesn't look like it's warped or anything. Not too much flash on it, and it's molded in some fairly nice thick plastic, so it should turn out really nice. I don't see any major swirling or anything in the plastic. Nice detail here on the strut towers and the radiator core support. So it's a nice looking body. Here we have the chassis. You can see we have the fuel lines, the brake lines and everything are already molded into this. It's a unibody type chassis, so we have a subframe here, but it looks to be pretty good. Interior wise, we have some nice texturing that's been done here to simulate the carpet, and the seat detail looks to be pretty good. Tires, we have some nice meaty tires on this. Some of the Firebird model kits out there that have come out over the years of this particular style, they had kind of skinny looking tires on them, but these are nice and meaty, and they're nice and soft, like real rubber. They're vinyl, but they try to simulate real rubber. They're really nice tires. Got a little bit of a mold line in the center that we'll have to get rid of, the usual thing. And here we have this nice little accessory bag. I'm going to leave these parts in here, but I'll just show them to you guys. We have the clear parts. We have the T-tops here that have been done in a smoked look. We have the nice detail of the red taillight and our windshield, and they've even got the defroster grid molded into the back window, which is a nice touch. We'll have to do some black trim painting around that little window detail there when we get to that. Here we're getting into some of the more body parts and some chassis parts, it looks like. Let's pop this stuff out of the bag. We have here, and this does have a steerable front suspension on it. So you can see we have our lower control arms here. We have the front air dam, some side fillers, some inner wheels here for wheel assemblies, some exhaust parts. Here we have the doors, the hinge assemblies for the doors. This does have opening doors. Firewall here with some nice detail for the heater box, blower motor, wiper motor. Up here we have the relay box assembly. There's the engine block with the transmission attached to it. Separate cylinder heads, which is nice, and they do have a little bit of rocker arm detail molded in there, which is kind of cool. Some more engine interior, engine bay detail parts. We have a separate washer bottle and washer bottle and radiator overflow bottle. Cast iron exhaust manifolds. Master cylinder here. Differential. Actually, that's part of the brake booster. And then we have more body parts. We have the front fascia, the rear bumper, the hood, which you've got the option of either the stock hood or the turbo type hood. It's a good thing too because it looks like the turbo type hood's a little bit better mold than this one. I can see some indentations here where the hinge detail is molded or glued on from the back side, so that would have to be filled in. Looks like the hood that we're going to use is molded a little bit cleaner. And we have a filler panel here for the rear. Actually, I think that's a spoiler that goes on the rear deck. Some type of filler panels here. And let's see, this last bag here. Got a lot of stuff in this one. Pretty high parts count kit. So that's nice. The more parts you get, the more you get to detail it out. Let's get this one out of the bag. Got 2 big sprues in here. Okay, so here we have a really kind of funky looking hood scoop that you would use on the stock hood, which we won't be using that at all, but we'll keep that. You never know what you could use that for. It's kind of neat looking. Intake manifold, different type exhaust manifolds. There's probably a difference on whether you use the turbo or not, so it'll depend on which exhaust manifold you have to use for that. Radiator fan shroud, radiator. We have a twin intake system here for the crossfire type intake. That's what we'll be using. We have the power steering here, the distributor, starter, shifter, the belt assembly, battery. We have our steering column here, side mirrors. Looks like some radiator hoses and parts of the exhaust, carburetor here. Filler panel for the T-tops. And the seats. And again, on the back of that rear seat, we have that nice detail to simulate the carpeting. Same thing on the wheel well cover here for the sides of the seat on the interior. Got some nice, really nice detail on the inside of these door panels. They've got the kind of wrinkled look here to simulate like the leather or the vinyl. And then you have the carpet insert down here on the bottom, which is just the way those cars originally were. Carpeting on the back of the seats. There's a lot of nice little kind of mold lines and everything, and little wrinkles that are in the seats here, which is a nice little touch. They did a great job on this. If everything fits really good, it's going to be a really nice kit. Some filler panels here at the front, some more of the wheel assemblies. Here's the steering wheel, differential, some springs, part of the steerable suspension, the drive shaft, sway bars, McPherson struts, lower fill panel, rear spoiler, armrests. Actually, these are the little map pockets for the doors, which that's a really nice touch too. And we have the part of the lower firewall. Here's the dash, which it looks like the gauge detail is all there. I'm not sure. We'll look at the decals in a second, see if they give you the decals for that or not. Otherwise, we'll have to be creative and do some paint work in there. Got the nice Firebird logo on the dash, so that's looking pretty good. Have a look at the instructions here really quick. Your basic fold-out type instructions. Starting off like most car kits, building the engine. They give you a couple options here. Turbo optional, fuel injection standard. That's what we'll be going with here. Exhaust system. Oh, we skipped a page here, so we get kind of stuck together there. There we go. And we're doing the chassis, putting the rear differential in place, dropping in the engine, exhaust system going on next. The usual fare there with the radiator core support. Then we've got to remove that section of the body, put this little brace in here so our T-tops can be held in place. Firewall going together. These look like the, must be the visors, windshield visors. They're telling you here to remove the inner door supports, putting the doors together with the hinges, and some of the glass goes in. Doing the dash next, seats, working on the interior there, center console, front windshield, dash going in, McPherson struts going in. And again, this has a steerable front suspension in it, which is always nice in a model kit. Sway bar, center links going on. Now we're doing the wheels and tires. Final detail parts of the engine bay, and then our front fascia, rear bumper, optional hoods, taillights, spoiler, and ending up with some decals. Now they do give you some really nice gold accent decals for the bottom of the car. I did see that on the decal set. I had a quick look at it. Let's see what we've got here. We'll pull this out. So you can see we've got the option here of if you did a silver car or a white car, you have the black ones. But we're going to do the black version, and we've got the nice gold. Love how they've got that kind of fading effect on that. Hopefully they fit good. The Firebird emblems that go on the various parts of the car. We got some license plates. Unfortunately, no gauges decals. I always like that when they give you the gauge decals on these car kits, but we'll do the best we can with that. But there you go, guys. Really nice kit. I'm really pleased. These 16th scale kits are nice because they're a little bit bigger and you can add some extra detail, and they're a little bit easier to paint and everything because of the larger size. So we'll put a nice high gloss black clear coat paint job on this, get this looking real sharp. And again, we're going to build this right out of the box. It doesn't look like it needs anything extra. It should come out really nice just the way it is. Hopefully we can get everything back in the see if we can get this body stuff back together. But there you go, guys, brand new from MPC. And like I said, it looks like they did a really nice job on this. Get this back together. And you guys will definitely get to see this built up either here on the show or on my TrekWorks channel. If you're interested in this kit and want to follow along with the build. Actually haven't done a car build here now in a couple of months, and I'm always into cars, so we'll get to this one here pretty soon. Alright guys, that's a wrap for our out-of-the-box kit review for tonight. Going to be back here in just a second after the other break and go to our next segment. See you in just a couple seconds, everybody. Stay tuned. Okay, everybody, we're back with you again, and I hope you enjoyed our out-of-the-box kit review tonight of the 1982 Firebird from MPC and the work we did on the bench weathering our HMS Hood. If you guys have any questions about any of the things we showed you tonight, you can fire them up in our chat session here. We're going to head over there now, do our shout-outs for tonight, and see what if anybody has any questions about modeling tips or anything out there. Either myself or some guys in the audience here can answer that for you. So let's head over there now and see who we got on tonight. Gonna do our usual thing and roll up to the top of the page. We've got, let's see, we've got Mike, Rocket Boy, 1969, Armando, John Petrie, Omar, Alpha Trion, Fubar Model Yard, The Captain, Jason Bruce, Adam is here with us. Nice to see you. Triskelion, Mark Shu, B. Tilly, Outsider 238, Mike Kovach. Let's see, Dan Harris, Galactic Modeler, Mark Buchholz, Mike Scarola, Dennis is here, Federation Shipyard, Shannon Freeman, Modeler X, Outsider 238, Shannon Freeman, NASCAR and Broncos fans, Clint Llewellyn, say that 3 times fast. Let's see, Fubar Modeler Yard, B. Tilly, Kenny with Mindless Model Works is here. Kenny, I want to say thank you again for organizing the tribute build to Chris Cortell. I really enjoyed taking part of that, and I saw your video with the list of the participants. It was like 100 people, and hopefully more people, since it's got a long time before it ends, hopefully even more people than that will get in on that. It was a real pleasure to do that. I know Chris is really enjoying it. He's made some nice comments about the work he's seen in there, so hopefully you'll organize several more of those group builds, Kenny. They're always fun. We have, let's see, Barrick 13, Leona Timber Company, Alpha Trion 92, Mark Shu, Star Siege Player, Phil Sprueworks, Dana Church, Jason Webster, 2000 SPQR, Cal, that's my shipbuilding buddy. Cal helps me out a lot with the details on these ships. He's really into the historical accuracy on those things. Gadgetron 3000, Eric Hawkins, nice to see you, Eric. Kenny with Sci-Fi Fantasy is here, nice to see you, Kenny. Thomas Johnson. Thomas builds a lot of ships. I've looked at a lot of your videos, Thomas. Got some good tips and good information about he builds a lot of 350 scale classic battleships and stuff like that, so I definitely check that out. We've got Chuck Brooks on tonight. Nice to see you, Chuck. Chuck kind of disappeared on us for a little while. We were worried about him. We thought maybe he got flooded out or something where he's at, but nice to see him back in the loop. The captain is here with us. Excuse me, Brian Knowles. Somebody said, I bet the T-tops on the model leak too. Yeah, they probably would. They don't have a rubber gasket around them, but I had an 81 Trans Am, and it actually never leaked. I was kind of surprised about that. We have Semtech UK checking in. Nice to see you, PJC 2.0. He joined our Facebook page. Nice to have you on board there, PJ. The Geordie Modeler. Roger Ball is here with us tonight. James Frost, eBiker 56. Nice to see you, James. James has been working on one of those really intricate paper models again. I believe he's building a Formula race car. So that's posted on our page too. You guys can check that out. Looks like I made it down to the bottom of the page here, guys. I think I did anyway. Yep, if you're in here with us, guys, make sure you type something in the chat so we see you in here and we'll give you a shout out. Paul De Tomaso is here with us tonight. Sketch SKE7CH123. You guys got to give me some easier easier names to say. Robert Morris. Gardy. Big Stats. Tim Bryant. He says it's his first time catching the show live. Nice to have you on with us, Tim. Hope you're enjoying the chat session with the other guys in here. Tagamo Model Works. Nice to see you, Tag. Tag's joining in on our group build. He's doing that awesome Batgirl kit from Mobius that just came out. Ace Scale Modeling. Nice to have you on board. Lobo 734, nice to have you with us tonight. Brian Knowles likes the Trans Am kit. Yeah, I'm really excited to build that one, Brian. It is a really, really nice kit. I was really pleasantly surprised. You know, back in the day, MPC weren't known for putting out that great of kits. You know, they were kind of a middle of the road kind of company. You know, just like everybody else, they had some good ones and bad ones. But that's a really nice kit, and it looks like it's going to build up really nice. We'll just have to see how well everything fits on it. Michael Worthington, he's here with us from England, so it's he's roughly, I think they're about 6 hours ahead of us or something like that. So it's fairly early in the morning for him. Paul DeMaso says he remembers building a Firebird kit when he was a kid and messed it up. Well, we all did a lot of that, Paul. That's why we keep on doing it. We keep trying to get better. And it's a golden age of modeling right now too. It's you know, with all the paints and everything has been so much improved over the way it was years ago. Clint Llewellyn says he's got his algae powder kit for his Flying Dutchman. He's going to be putting that on. Leona Timber Company says that the first part on the group build he built today was a torpedo to come after my Bismarck. I'm really enjoying building these battleships. I won't be building a lot of them. Like I said, I really, you know, I did a little Arizona and I did the USS Enterprise, the original CV-6 aircraft carrier a while back, and I wanted to have the hood and the Bismarck since I heard about the story and read about it when I was a kid, and so that'll probably be it for the ships for a while after I finish up the hood. Yeah, the Jolly Roger, I didn't get a chance to get to it too much this week, Jordy Modeler. We'll definitely have some more on that during next week's show. I've got to work on the, I've got to get some primer work done and get the outer parts of the hull glued or painted so we can get the, we got to glue those two halves together and put that deck in that we worked on in the last episode before we can go any further. Hey, Scale Modeling says, do you think the hood had a chance to beat the Bismarck? Well, it's the hood was, as I was talking about a little bit in the when I was working on it there, the hood was really actually a pretty old ship. It was, I think they originally laid the keel down for it in like 1916, and the Bismarck was up to date modern battleship. It was the fastest and most heavily armed, and it had the most the thickest armor at the time when it was on the water in the entire world in 1941. So the hood's main problem was it didn't have very much armor, and that was its ultimate doom. So it's kind of hard to say, but it was just a lucky shot by the Bismarck. It just went right into the main powder magazine on the hood, and that was it. It's really a fascinating story, the whole thing. One of the few times big battleships actually took each other on at fairly close range in World War II. Clint says, I know they use teak for the decks. Yep, that's pretty much standard on most ships, Clint. That decking that I put down on that is a aftermarket deck. I didn't paint that on. There's some, you can buy these aftermarket simulated wooden decks, and I use that on the Bismarck as well. It's really nice. I'm really think that gives the model a really realistic look, especially if you do a little bit of weathering and shading on it. I thought I saw somebody asking something about. Oh, Dan Harris says, I haven't had any luck finding the acrylic urethane auto paints. They look at me funny when I ask, probably because I'm not in the business. Dan, really, I use acrylic urethane, but really any automotive base coat, all you have to do is go in and ask for a base coat when you go into an auto parts or auto paint store, and whether it's urethane or just regular acrylic or whatever they're using these days, it's going to work. It's all, all the modern cars, most of the modern cars have a lot of plastic parts on them, so these paints are made to work with plastic. You just need to prime it first, and just go in there and talk to them and tell them, hey, you want to start using some of that type of paint, and talk to them a little bit about what they have, whether it needs to be reduced or not, or whether it needs hardener or not. I would try to stay away from the paint that needs hardener. The stuff I have, it's ready to spray. All you have to do is reduce it a little bit, and there's whoever, depending on the manufacturer, they'll tell you how much you should reduce it, and then you need to get the appropriate reducer that goes with it. But like I said, just walk into your local parts or paint store and tell them what you're looking for, and if they sell paint for automobiles there, that's the stuff you're looking for. And then you can, there are several different kinds of clear coats that you can use, but any good brand of automotive high gloss clear coat, that's going to usually be a two-part. You got the clear itself, and you got an activator that goes with it, and you want to follow their recommendation on how you mix it. It's usually 2 or 3 to 1, and then you should be all set. And again, the standard base coat, base paint will dry in a sort of a satin, not a high gloss finish. So if you're looking to do a car or something like that, you're going to have to put a clear over it. But if you're doing, like starships and stuff, that don't need a high gloss, it's perfect for that. But yeah, you just you can find that paint. If you're living in a fairly sizable town, there should be some automotive paint store in your area that sells automotive paint, and they're definitely going to have it. But there's all different brands. I happen to use Spieshecker. Sometimes I use Transtar. There's Nason. There's DuPont. Actually, DuPont kind of got out of the paint business. I think it's called Axalta now. It's AXALTO something. But it's the old DuPont paint. So but like I said, any type of automotive base coat will work. Phil with the Sprue says, any opinion on Bulldog adhesion promoter? Bulldog Bulldog has a little bit of a texture to it, Phil. It has a little bit of a graininess to it when it dries, so be aware of that. The Duplicolor in the spray can does not. It sprays on perfectly smooth. So I would if you're doing it using it for models, I would use the Duplicolor. Mike Scarola, yeah, the PPG is a brand that's been around forever. You know that that's standard automotive base. They're gonna that will work as well. The PPG tends to be a little bit more expensive. For example, TranStar, that's all one word, TranStar, TranStar. They tend to be a little bit lower priced. They're kind of a entry level paint, um, but it works great. It's basically the same as anything else. They also make primer. They make clear coat, all kinds of accessories. You've even got things you can put in your clear, like one's called an appearance enhancer, which it what it does is it sort of thins the clear coat out, and it makes it when you spray it, it won't leave any of that orange peel look. It'll be perfectly smooth, like shiny, like glass. And you can also add kicker to it, just like your CA glue. They make a kicker for your clear too, which will make it accelerate and dry a lot faster. A lot of the new clears that are out there, they'll already have that built in. This clear that I showed you guys a couple of weeks ago on one of the car builds I did that I'm using now, it's a 2K clear, two-part. It has its own accelerator built into it. It literally will be dry in like 20 or 30 minutes if you sprayed it about 75 degrees ambient temperature, and you can start buffing on it within like a half an hour, or polishing it. It's already dry. So that's they're getting a lot more up to date and a lot more modern with a lot of this stuff. Right, Dan? If you talk to them about what you want to use it for, they'll probably be able to set you up. Now, the only thing that you may run into with some of these outfits is that when it comes to buying the quantity, normally they're gonna most paint shops are gonna the smallest quantity that they'll make is like a pint, and that's usually too much for just building one model. But sometimes they'll work with you. Like I said, I get it in these little 8-ounce bottles, and I have like over 150 or 160 different. They actually call them toners, because I buy all the neutral toners, and then I mix all my own colors. I have some different kinds of silver that has small metal flake in it, like so small that you can't even see it, and it gets a little bit bigger. I have different kinds of gold, all the primary colors, and so I can basically here I can make any shade of paint that I want, because I used to do mobile painting, and so I had to be able to match any kind of paint job that was on any car that I ever ran into. So, but you just go with the primary colors and then get a couple of silvers, so you can do some of the metallics, and you should be all set if you want to continue using those. And then it's not for everybody, but if you really want to get into it, I recommend that everybody learn to mix their own colors, because that way you can match anything. You don't have to compromise. A lot of times, you got a certain subject you want to do, like a particular favorite car of yours or something like that, and you walk into the hobby store, and out of the spray cans they don't make a color that matches that exactly. You always have to compromise. Well, I guess that's close enough. But if you learn to mix your own colors, you can make it exactly like it. So it's a good skill to learn. Clint Llewellyn's asking about the powder I use. Clint, I don't the brand of the stuff that I use. It unfortunately it's worn off the label, so I can't tell you. But if you go online, like I said here, and just look up rust oxide weathering compound for scale models, you'll find a bunch of people that make it, and they have it in all different colors. Like I said, they have it in that one I was using there was sort of what they call their medium to dark, but they have a lighter kind of that more orangish looking, light yellow looking rust, and you can mix those together. Like you do one layer of the darker, then you put a little bit of the yellow over the top, and it gives that super realistic rust. And if you take a little bit of water and you put it on there and then kind of clump it on there, you can even make it look more crusty looking, like really corroded thick rust, and it looks totally realistic. I've never seen anything better. It can make you if you're, even if just learning or just an amateur starting out doing it, it can make you look like a master doing weathering, because it just works really good. But just keep in mind, a lot of it, a little bit of it goes a long ways. It's highly concentrated. I mean, that bottle you saw me using, I've had that for like 3 years, and that's all I've used out of it. And I've done dozens of models with it. So, it's like $5 or $6 for the bottle, and it will last you a long, long time. JD, one way to if the model was put together with regular plastic cement, an old trick that everybody uses is you stick it in your freezer, so let it sit there in there overnight. It makes that glue turn really brittle. Pull it out of there, and hopefully you can start pulling parts off of it. Hopefully nothing's stuck on there so good that that won't work. But that's an old trick that's been around for a long time. I'll show you this little paint set I got here too, guys, for working on my hood. I used this company when I did my Bismarck. This company I pointed out before is called Life Color. They're made in Italy, but they have these specific sets. When I went to there's an official HMS Hood association. All these historical like rivet counter people that do all the research and everything about exactly how all these old ships and everything should look. And they had these color match numbers on there for what the hull color should be, the superstructure and all that. And they have these exact colors in this little set here that's called Royal Navy World War II, Eastern Approach, Early War. So you have these different shades in the back here. Now you can do all the different, the Royal Navy from about 1941 on, they started doing a lot of camo, really cool looking camouflage paint jobs on their ships. Now the hood didn't have any camo on it. They probably would have done her up in camo if she would have lasted longer, but she still had the standard Admiralty gray paintwork on her when she went down. And so these colors are all here, and they're acrylics, they're water-based, and they spray absolutely beautiful. I just love these things. Used them on my Bismarck, and I was really happy. I got the authentic colors for the Bismarck as well. They have a Kriegsmarine set, and they have all these different sets. Some of them are shown, let's see, on the sides here. They have a dust and rust for like World War II tanks and all that, and ground vehicles. They have they have all kinds of. If you go up to their website, that's lifecolor.com, you'll see that they have a whole bunch of really cool stuff there, and I'm really pleased. They spray really smooth. The set that I used in my Bismarck, it had a couple of chunks in it. I had to strain it out a little bit, but I think that set had been sitting around. I got that included with that kit when I bought it, and it looked like it was old, but I bought this set brand new from Hobby Link USA, and it's just gorgeous. I love it. And I'll save whatever is left for some kind of other military models I do in the future, because they got some really nice shades in there for camo and all that. Got a couple more people check in. We got Scott here, Aussie Trekkie, and I thought I saw a couple other guys pop in there. John Crow. Sikorsky Kid. Nice to have you with us. Getting towards the end here, folks. If anybody else has any more questions, either myself or somebody else will answer them for you, hopefully, if you have something you want to ask about modeling. Jeff Black just checked in. Mike Mitchell says he finally got his portable power supply. Well, good for you, Mike. That's a really almost essential tool to have on your bench if you're going to do a lot of lighting and building your own circuits for these models, because you can test it all out. You can find out how much amp draw you're drawing and everything. So it's pretty much, and they're not really that expensive. You really don't want to rely on batteries and stuff, because you never know. You could be using a battery that's half dead, and it doesn't give you an accurate reading. So when you're setting all your what type of resistors you're using for how bright you want your lights to look, if you're using a dead battery and you go to light it up with something, when you go to a newer battery, you might wind up with everything being way too bright. It's nice to have a constant voltage that is it's showing up right on your display there, so you know exactly what you're dealing with. I remember back when I got mine, it was one of the best tools I've ever bought for my modeling here, especially all the lighting that I work on. T Commando's here, and he's asking, have you ever tried the stress skin on plane models? I haven't tried that, Commando. I'm not quite sure what that is. Dennis has got to check out. Nice to have you on with us, Dennis. We'll catch you in a couple of weeks. Hope you're going to jump in on the group build. Looking forward to see what you work on. Yeah, so that little segment I had at the beginning of the show, guys, that's something I'll be doing regularly. We're getting a few pictures coming in from the guys on for the slideshow, but it's really slowed down to a trickle. I think everybody's starting to get busy with summer coming up and everything, so no worries on that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to pop in at the beginning of the show and look around on the our Google page and just kind of get everybody caught up. Some people don't have time to stop by there during the week and check it out, so we'll get everybody caught up and highlight a few. We'll click on a few of the works in progress there, kind of show everybody what people are doing and everything, and give those guys a shout out. We've got Jerry Hedgecock. Nice to see you tonight, Jerry. So if anybody has any questions about the group build we just started today, again, that goes from starting today and runs until June 2nd. That's our spring group build, and the subject matter can be anything from the movies or television. So you guys have a wide variety of stuff you can choose from on that. I kind of went back and forth myself here on what I wanted to build, but I saw the little auto gyro sitting there, and I thought, what better than a James Bond movie? And that poor little kit's been sitting here for way too long. I should have gotten that built a long time ago. I'm going to look forward to getting that one done, and it won't take up a lot of room either. That's a good thing. Somebody asked a little bit ago. Yeah, I bought a lot of aftermarket stuff for the hood. I got the metal gun barrels, and it has the brass propellers on it. I use the aftermarket deck, and I've got some photo etch for it. I didn't go crazy and get they have a, you with that photo etch, you can go totally crazy with that. You can buy these sets that have 30 sheets of photo etch, and if you have the time and you want to go through all that, that's great. But for me, what I do is I just want to, I go through and I mainly want the railings and a few little things like that. But I try to focus on the main things that you would look at, and it's kind of what I did with the Bismarck. And again, like I was talking about when I did that one, I think some of the railing that the kit comes with looks more realistic than the photo etch, because some of the railing shouldn't be flat like that. It should have a, it should look like it's tubular. So anyway, it's kind of your own thing. But you literally can go totally crazy with that photo etch. So we'll have a little bit on there. Some of the details that like on the rigging and up on the masts and everything. The photo etch that this kit comes with is gonna make it look a lot nicer. I tried to find the brass masts for it, but they don't make a set for that. They make them in the 200 scale because that's the one thing I wish I would have had on my Bismarck, and I can't find a set for that either in 1/350 scale because they would have been much stronger. You know, they're okay, but like I said, if I ever bump it or something, if I'm not looking, I could see where they could get snapped off. Red Shirt's asking about the freezer trick. Pretty much just overnight, Red Shirt should do it. You know, sometimes if they're glued together like really, really, really good, it's still going to be really difficult to get them apart without breaking something, you know. But a lot of times you can get a lot of the parts off with that. It works surprisingly well. Got David Hale checked in, said he painted the Battlestar Pegasus white, and he says he likes the way that looks. That sounds pretty cool. Yeah, Roger, that thin, easy line should be great for the 1/700 scale. I used it on my Arizona and all that, and it looked good on that. And that's a small scale, so yeah, I love that stuff. I would never use thread again. I mean, that after using this stuff, I mean, the nice part about it is when you kind of cut it to length and you make it, you kind of look and see like what you're trying to do, and then you want to make it just a tiny little bit shorter, so you just have to stretch it just a little bit, attach one end and then attach the other end, and it doesn't put a bunch of pressure on the parts, like especially on your masts and all that. If you're using, plastic masts and everything, it'll want to, if you use the old thread and you had to pull it tight, to get it so they don't droop, it'll be putting a lot of pressure on it. It'll be trying to pull them together and everything, where this stuff doesn't do that. And you can use it on a lot of other stuff, like airplanes have that little antenna wire, and anything that has that kind of detail on it works fantastic. They have that in different thicknesses and different colors. They have it in white or like beige, so it looks like rope, or and it doesn't get that what do you call it, that fuzz on it, that stringy. It stays really nice and clean. You can use that on the Jolly Roger, like up on the sails. I'm actually going to use where you attach the sail to the yard arms and everything. I'm going to use some really fine black nylon fishing line for that. I've seen some shipbuilders out there that use that, and it looks like that works really good. Just put it in a needle and just start threading your way through, wrapping it around the yard arm and then go through the sail and just keep doing that all the way across. But I think thread is pretty much outdated, with all that new stuff that's out there now. Star Siege player, it's called Easy Line. It's here's what it looks like right here. It just comes in a little spool like this. It's like elastic thread. It's stretchy, but it doesn't do all that. It doesn't come apart, and it doesn't turn fuzzy like regular thread does. It's made for this. A lot of the guys, the word on this has been spreading around because a lot of the guys in the model railroading have been using this for years, and now people are using it for scale model ship rigging and stuff like that. So it's not expensive at all. I got mine off of eBay. I just went in on eBay and typed in Easy Line, and you'll find all the different thicknesses and the different colors and everything they have there. But the stretchiness is what makes it, I think, a step above regular thread for doing rigging, because like I said, you don't have to to get nice tight lines. Sometimes you want your lines to sag. For example, on the some of the rigging on the older sailing ships, they had lines that kind of hung down and stuff. Now you're going to need thread for that, because this stuff doesn't do that very well. And some guys actually use really super thin wire and do it with that, because they bend it in that shape and then they paint it and everything to make it look like the color that it's real rope or whatever. And there's several different ways you can do it. There's so many videos. When I started doing this ship stuff, I just went around YouTube and just looked at all these different videos out there. There's a whole bunch of people out there, like everything else, that'll show you how to do ships and rigging and all that stuff. Okay, folks, well, it looks like our questions are starting to slow down and some people are starting to sign out. So I'm going to go ahead and call it a night. Thanks for tuning in tonight. Thanks for joining us. Hope you guys enjoyed the chat session. To those of you that were new with us tonight, you'll find that we have a really friendly group of people. Welcome to have you guys in here. Ask questions. These guys in here are really a friendly bunch of people. They'll answer anything that they can for you and help you out with your modeling. And come on by to our Google page. We have the Model Shop Google community. You can check that out on the Google Plus search, and you'll find us. And you're welcome to join. It's an open join. You don't have to ask permission or anything like that. You can come right on in, and you'll see that everybody over there is posting pictures and everything and keeping us updated on their work and everything. So it's a really nice place to hang out. Everybody's really friendly. No negative comments. Just people are really supportive of whether you're an experienced modeler or just a beginner. So, and we're into all kinds of genres. I'm known for doing a lot of sci-fi stuff, but we all build everything. We build, I just finished building a tank a couple days ago. I'm building ships, cars, little whatever I feel like building, and that's the way everybody is here. So it's a lot of fun, and we'll look forward to seeing you there. Okay, everybody, that's a wrap. Thanks for tuning in. Like I said, we'll be back a week after next for number 109. We're getting towards 110 already, and I'm looking forward to seeing what you guys are going to work on for your group build. You can post your pictures there, or don't forget, we have our Facebook page now. That's the same thing, the Model Shop over on Facebook. We're getting I think we're up to around 40 or 50 people in there now. So we're going to use Facebook for some of the stuff over there, because it does some things that the main reason I opened it up, I don't want to get too many things going on, but the main reason I opened it up over there is that it has a few more tools and stuff that you can do that you can't do on Google and stuff like that. They have polls and stuff you can put up and all kinds of stuff. So we'll be using that, and we'll try to keep the same information going on over there that's going on over on our regular page. So just thought I'd fill you guys in on that. Okay, everybody, we'll be back next episode. We'll be back to work on the flying, or the Jolly Roger, the kit you see behind me, and we'll probably start something else, and I'll get started on my group build here and show you guys how that's coming along. Looking forward to your work, everybody. Hope you get to get on the bench this week. So we'll see you next time, and take care, and happy modeling, everyone. Good night.